All right, well, good morning, everybody. It's nice to see some faces we haven't seen in a little while, especially online. Welcome, everybody. This is the November 30th meeting of the Bowmanville Rotary Club. I can't believe it's the end of November already. Oh gosh, wait a minute. We've got Chris Christodoulou has got our invitation, but he's still working the front door downstairs. Can we just maybe mention them to come upstairs? Steve, why don't you do you want to give your announcement now then while we're waiting for Chris to come up?
Sure, that sounds good. All right, so for everyone on the phone in person and anyone who watches later, we're in the midst of our election process. You may have seen an email come out from me yesterday. This is our first full year, I think, of the new election process. The nomination committee has put forward a slate of candidates for all of the open positions. And we're ready to take those forward. However, in the interest of full democracy in the club, all those positions are open for further nominations. So if you wish to put your name forward for any of the open positions, and I'll name those later, send me an email before Sunday, December the 5th at noon. The positions open for nominations are president nominee. That's the person who will become president-elect after that, and then president, secretary, director of community service, director of international service, and director of public image and branding. Both of those are two-year term, or sorry, all of those are two-year terms, with the exception of the president nominee that evolves into a three-year term, I guess. And then we've got a one-year exception this year. Joe has already been the director of club administration for 3 years now. He's asked to end his term, so we're going to fill that position for 1 year. So if you would like to contest any of those positions, please send me your nomination in writing specifying the position you would like to put your name forward for, and send it to be no later than December 5th at noon. And that's it. That's all.
Perfect. All right, Chris, give our invocation.
Yes. Yeah. Morning, everybody.
Good morning.
So here's the invocation for today. Dear God, so far I've done all right. I haven't gossiped. I haven't lost my temper. I haven't been greedy, grumpy, nasty, selfish, or overindulgent. I'm thankful for that. But in a few minutes, I'm going to get out of bed. And from then on, I will probably need your help.
Very good. Thank you very much. I'd also like to welcome our guests, Pauline, who's here with us in person, and Roshein, who is online with us. You'll both be more properly introduced. Sadly, Jasmine wasn't able to join us this morning, so I look forward to rescheduling her to come in and speak to us. Our land acknowledgement: the municipality of Clarington is situated within the traditional and treaty territory of the Mississaugas and Chippewas, known today as the Williams Treaty First Nations. Our work on these lands acknowledges the resilience and longstanding contributions to the area now known as the municipality of Clarington. Pauline, do we have any birthdays or anniversaries?
Justice Amy, there are no celebrations this week at all.
Oh, well. See, and we'll celebrate the fact that I was up early again and baked.
And
So those of you online
No cookies.
missed out again. Okay, Joe, would you like to introduce our
This
speakers?
would be my pleasure to do so. Morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody online. So in the few weeks since the reopening, the latest reopening of many since the pandemic began, we have seen a number of new businesses in town. I don't know about you, but when I walk down the street, especially on King Street, there are a whole bunch of new places. It's really interesting. We've been reading about some of them in the local papers. They have really interesting stories to tell behind them. course, everybody who opens a new store, there's always an interesting story there. I invited a few of them in this morning. One of them last night had a problem with the supply thing, which I guess is pretty common now, and she has to drive to Oakville this morning, so she couldn't be with us. That's Jasmine, who has the Firehouse subs, which are great, by the way. If you haven't been over there, it's a really good story behind it. But our first guest, we have two. Pauline Thomas. Hey, Pauline. She's the owner of Comfort Bras by Pauline. And actually, our Pauline Calvert, told me about her when I was talking about new business. She said there's this new bra shop that's really interesting. Anyway, it's just east of Division on the south side of King. It is her third location. It's right, the other two in Milton and Pickering. And I've learned a lot about women. I've had two great conversations with her, and I've learned a whole bunch of stuff about women that sadly I really didn't understand before. And, it's fun. We all laugh at, like bras and stuff, but it's deeply moving, the conversation. Yeah, there you go. Our other guest is Roshein, and we'll get to her in a few moments after Pauline tells us all about Comfort Bras by Pauline.
So, how long do I have?
5, 6, 7 minutes.
You cannot say that to me. It's 25 years being a corporate trainer. Speaking is what I did. You just never tell a corporate trainer to speak because we don't know how to shut up. That's the issue. So it's, I was saying to Joe, I'm going to try and tell the story and I'll cry because every time I tell it, I cry. It began 15 years ago. And if I offend anyone in anything I say, I apologize ahead of time because it is a very emotional and very personal story. 15 years ago, I began going through something women call a change of life. And if you know anything about that, we change. We change in every way possible. Our bodies change, our minds change, everything changes or beginning to change, except we don't know that it's changing. We think everything's normal because everybody else around us knows that something's going on. We become not so nice. Well, as a woman changes through that period, her body changes, and mine did. My breasts grew and grew and grew and grew until they landed at a J cup. And you're going, what? What's a J cup? Yeah, it's literally about here on a woman's chest. And I didn't know they were growing. I really didn't. We don't know these things. We just kind of think something's happening. We don't know. And I remember hugging a colleague of mine and she said, "Oh, you got big boobs like me." And I went, "No." What are you talking about? And I'm looking at her thinking, "No, you got big boobs." I had no clue. But my body was changing in ways that I couldn't understand. And my, breasts were growing and they were growing and a whole host of things were happening. And there was a lot of pain. I was in a lot of pain all the time. I was one of those women who I literally put my bra on in the bathroom at work every day and took it off in the bathroom at work every day on my way home. It was just when my last thing I could do was do that bra up. I just, couldn't. And so years and years went by, and about 5 years ago, a colleague of mine said, you may need to get a lymphatic drainage massage. And I went, a what? She said, a lymphatic drainage massage, just, So I started looking into this thing, and I'm going to hurry up the story because I want to get to the end before I run out of time. And I looked it up, and it's literally, it's something that individuals who work on cancer patients, they do this a lot. They massage the lymph nodes and really get the circulation going because lymph nodes are very, very important. But here's what most women don't know. We carry a lot of those here. What sits there? Our bras. And after 6 weeks of this lymphatic drainage massage with a wonderful consultant, masseuse, whatever, in Toronto that I found online, I said to her one day during the last session, I said, why is this happening to me? Because, my liver was working overtime to the point I had indents in my legs. You could throw water in there. Honestly, it was so bad. I was swelling. And she said, well, your liver's working overtime. because your lymph nodes aren't functioning properly. And I want you to imagine that you have an elastic band around your finger all day. What would happen? I said, well, I cut off my circulation. She said, yeah, that's what your bras are doing. And after 6 weeks of this massage, I gotta tell you, I peed like a, just lots of flushing happened. Just naturally, my body started to function. The swelling went away. I felt better. And one day, after the last massage, and I was, having a coffee by the lake in Pickering, just kind of going over the last several years of my life, going, oh my God, what a journey I've been on. And at that point, I transitioned into full menopause, so not perimenopause anymore. So the cloud went away. When the clouds go away in a woman's life, you see things so clearly. That's why we don't like our husbands after that. No, I mean, some of the ladies are laughing, the men are going, what? But honestly, the cloud went away, and you start to think a little clearly because it was a little cloudy for a decade or more. So I was reflecting on what just happened and what I went through, and I passed by this, if you've ever been on Liverpool, where there's beautiful little village almost, and I passed by one of the little retail spots, and it said for rent, and I called up the lady and I said, I'd like to see that, and she goes, well, come now, and I went, what am I thinking? No, not now. What would I put there? I don't know what I'm putting there. Anyway, she said, come now, I'm in town. I'm not usually in town. So I drove there, actually I drove past it, went home, drove back because I was really what am I going to put there? And she said, as I'm in the room, and you got to visualize this for me. I'm in the room with her in the little retail spot. She said, so what are you going to do here? And I said, and I'm standing over there and I'm standing here. I swear I'm looking at myself, and I heard the words come out. I'm going to open a bra store, and I'm going to teach women how to wear their bras properly. And my other self is looking over at me and say, what? You're going to do what? Wait, did we have a conversation about this? I'm just looking at myself saying, what are you doing? You're not going to do that. But that's how my journey started. It wasn't a long, prolonged decision about what to do. It was an incredible, and it still is every single day. And every time I do it, I'm overwhelmed at how important a job it is. Teaching women how to wear their bras, teaching women the importance of wearing good bras and wearing them and taking care of their breast and their lymph nodes, and say, how did I end here? And that's where we're going. So after several years, this is my first store in Pickering, I found out I have stuff happening in there that aren't healthy. That over a decade of wearing, and I think it's unhealthy bras and I was stuffing those girls into a double D. And by the way, guys, everybody's a double D. Every woman, what size do you think you are? I think I'm a double D. I was looking, not so much, but everybody's a double D. And I recently, 5 months ago, had those lumps and bumps removed. And this is where I am. You're not healthy. We're not always healthy when we're like that. And I wasn't healthy. Those lymph nodes and had created fibroids that grew and grew. And I gave birth to 5-pound babies, I tell everyone. They were huge. But that's how Comfort Bras began. And our mission is to change the world one breast at a time, because it's so important. Most women do walk around, 80% of us, not knowing that one, we're wearing the wrong bra. We know something's wrong. We just don't know what it is that's wrong. And we don't know our bra sizes. And I think if we start with the younger generation and we teach them that the thing that we wear 14, 15, 16 hours a day could kill us, and is slowly damaging our bodies if we don't do it right. Relocations.
Yeah. Are there any questions? I know the guys are like, I don't know, but trust me. For somebody who went, the first time I got a professional bra fitting, it changes your life.
Yes, it does. It changes your life.
And I told Pauline already, I said, I'm bringing my daughter in because she needs her life changed.
But it changes your life.
Yeah, Dawn?
It does.
I know where you are in Bowmanville. Where's your location?
Right up the lake. Liverpool Road. 611 Liverpool
You're
Road.
right down by the marina area?
Right down
And
there.
okay, then.
Yes.
Okay.
Village. Yes.
In one of our conversations, you said that maybe not every woman, but every woman who gets a bra fitting, they cry.
Yes, they do.
Why?
Crying and hugging is a normal thing in our store. And we close the door when women come in so that they feel totally private, that there's no one else going to walk in, and other colleagues say I'm crazy for doing it, but I don't know any other way to do it, because it's so overwhelming when you put a good bra on and stand in front of the mirror. You look different. You feel different. And it's almost like a weight of emotions overcomes them. And they cry, they want to hug, they're just, it's, you know, if you imagine someone who is 70, who's worn a bad bra their whole life and have full breast and didn't know that there's such a thing called a good bra and no pain, and suddenly puts one on, it's overwhelming for them. It's overwhelming. So there's a sense of regret. There's a sense, just a lot of emotions, and it's a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful thing to be part of.
If we pop in, I know it's a perfect time of year to get fitted. Or at least to get
For you?
a gift certificate.
Yes, we do have gift certificates. Yes. And we recommend that when guys do come in, that they get gift certificates. Some guys are like, I'll get the bra. No, don't do it. Get the gift certificate. Your perception of what's going on under there is never good. I was saying 80%, 90%, sometimes, gosh, in Pickering, it began with an overwhelming amount of, most women that walked in the door said, my husband sent me. He drove by, saw your store and told me I need to go. Or my husband's outside, he dropped me off. And they really don't want to be here at first. It's kind of like, I don't know what this bra fitting thing is about, but you know, like, whatever. My husband said I need to go. It's always the husbands, you know, that say, oh gosh, you got to go do that. Pardon me?
No, I know why, but why do you think that?
Because you hear them, you hear it. I said to my husband when this was all done for me, I said, did I ever used to complain? He goes, oh my God, you complain all the time. We'd walk, we'd go out and you'd be like looking in the mirror, fixing things all the time.
Yeah.
I said, I did. He goes, oh yeah, you're always in there pulling up. I never knew. It became such a natural thing to do. He said, yeah, you play all the time. We don't hear ourselves. It's second nature for us.
And it's amazing
So
too, for
when
somebody
you
who,
open a bra store, how do you get the customers initially? How do you?
A lot of my customers are through word of mouth and good customer service. The one thing about bra fitting, I find, women talk. Once they've had a good bra fitting, they want to tell everybody. They almost want to walk around and go, see those? They look good, don't they? You know, it's not, they're not really saying it, but they're going, you know, they want to talk about the experience because it is life changing, as you said. It changes your life. It changes your perspective. You get back so much of your day as a woman when you're not thinking about your bra. And we're thinking about our bras all the time. All the time. From the moment we get up and put them on.
Pauline, what about the ladies that are not quite so magnificently endowed? Is it just important?
If you're, I get A cups, I get minus A cups.
Yeah.
You know, we get everybody.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. All women, we have lymph nodes. We have breast of some sort. Doesn't matter if it's small or huge. It doesn't matter. And it's not just the girls with, you know, full girls that need help. It's every woman needs to know. Pull that breast in that bra cup. If you can buy proper bra cups, and underwires are not all the same. There are daggers and they will kill you. That's what they tell them there. They will hurt you in very serious ways. But there are manufacturers who've been making great bras and understand that for 140 years. Most of us never heard of them. So there is a solution.
When I was, when I visited yesterday, when I dropped by, your store's beautiful, by the way.
Thank
It's
you.
really gorgeous. You were waiting for a woman who had a vasectomy. Can you talk about that? Can you talk about how important that was for her, going to be for her?
The first time I did a mastectomy client, actually it was referred by someone else who came in and she said, I have a friend that I think you need to talk to. And she came in and I'd been trained by the manufacturer to do it, but I'd never really done it. And she walked in and she took her socks out of her bra that she was wearing, stuck with sock, and she had double mastectomy and there was nothing there. And I was so overwhelmed and humbled. I said, how long have you had it? She said, I did it 2 years ago. I said, and you're wearing a sock. What was that? I didn't know there was any other way. And I didn't know there are other solutions. That still surprises me that in this day and age, there are women who have breast surgery, breast cancer, and have mastectomies, their breast 1 or 2 removed or half or a quarter, and they don't know that you don't have to walk around feeling deformed. And when we do a mastectomy fitting and fit them into a prosthetic and put the bra on, and oh my gosh, it's something to behold, the confidence that they now have. And I like to sort of go, see it, can you feel it? And then if you ever get overwhelmed, just take it out and give it to your husband, say, play with that. Because it feels so real. They've come such a long way. They feel so real. It's amazing.
Yeah. Do we have any other questions? I'm just trying to see online if any of our Zoomers have any questions or. No? Yeah. Well,
Thank you.
Oh, actually, hold on. Who do we see?
Roshein.
Oh, Roshein.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning.
I wanted to ask about maternity bras. Do you help with maternity bras at all?
Yeah, I guess I do. We do maternity, we do nursing and maternity, so pre and post. And we also do pre and post for every type of breast surgery a woman has, not just mastectomy. So we provide all the surgical bras, pre-surgery and post-surgery for women. And also, a full line of maternity wear, actually. Not the dress or but undergarments, the band, the bras, everything that a woman needs.
Okay, thank you.
Good. Yep. All right.
Thank you so much.
I forgot to mention that Pauline is also maybe new to town, but she is now a silver sponsor of the concert DVD. Our second guest, Roshein Shaw. Hi, Roshein. Oh, hi, Roshein. With you there. With her brother Ricardo, they're the owners of the Little West Indies Food Market. I'm sure you've seen it. Smack dab in the middle of King Street on the south side between Division and Temperance. Great spot. It is quite a place. You walk in there, it's a double store. Shelves are stocked from floor to ceiling with goods from across the Caribbean. They have like a lunch counter there where you can order food. And she told me that Bowmanville, this was pretty interesting. I said, how is it? And she said, since the pandemic, she said, Bowmanville is now awake, which is pretty cool. And Roshein is on Zoom to talk about the story behind the Little West Indies Food Market. Thanks, Roshein. Take it away.
Thank you. Good morning.
Morning.
Where do I start? Well, our family moved out to Curtis, I'm going to say 2017, and we moved from Ajax. And coming out to Curtis, at that time there wasn't very much diversity. It wasn't as diverse as it is today even. Actually, I remember my family, when we went to Bowmanville, like we'd go to the Walmart in Bowmanville, that's where you would see more diversity. So it's like Curtis just got missed. But eventually we moved out to Newcastle, and it's like, okay, diversity went away again. So my brother and I started thinking it's very difficult for me as a mother of 4 to, whenever I need supplies for my house, I need to go to Ajax or I need to go to Pickering. I need to get my hair done. I need to go to Ajax. I need to go to Pickering just for, just a gel that I use, Ajax, Pickering. And I just thought, this is not fair. So my brother jumped on board and talked my parents into jumping on board. And we started just looking for spaces. And we looked for quite a while actually, and there was a lot of I guess roadblocks until we started looking in Bowmanville, and we came across this space at 37 King that literally, it's like the owner had gone into my head and said, this is what it's supposed to be. Because when I went in, it's literally what I had envisioned the whole time from day one. So I thought, it doesn't even matter what it's going to cost, doesn't matter, like what it's going to take. We're getting this space. And for some reason he agreed, and we moved in. Moving in, okay, well, we have a lot of space here. There's a kitchen. We weren't expecting a kitchen. There's a second space. We weren't expecting that. So, okay, we'll use the kitchen. We'll do takeout. We'll use a second space. We'll do a full hair store. And this is more than enough space to have a full grocery, a full West Indian grocery. So far, it's been very, when I say awake, what I mean is when I drove through Bowmanville, downtown Bowmanville, especially on like a Sunday or a Saturday afternoon, there was just, it was just so closed. Everything was just closed. But I'm finding that now when I stand outside my shop, I can see that there's like movement when people come in and they're asking for the hottest hot sauce that you have. And, it's just like people are just so excited, and we're just so excited to be able to provide it. Otherwise than that, it's every day, every week, every month that goes by is a whole learning experience that we're kind of taking one step at a time and learning from the week before, because although we've owned businesses, we've never taken on something like this. I guess my fear is that if we don't do it properly, then we're going to let a whole lot of people down. There's a lot of people that come in and say same thing that I was feeling, which is, I don't have to drive all the way out to Ajax. I don't have to wait for my son to be coming in from Toronto to get what I need. Like we're needed, not just for my family, but for many, many households in the Eastern Durham region. It's about it.
We must have some questions, and if you've not been in, you need to go in. Joe?
Yeah, I was. Hi, Roshein. Thanks for this morning. Your store is incredible. I mean, you walk around and stuff's coming from everywhere. I got some sauce there from, I think it was St. Lucia, that you had recommended. Barron's, I think it was Barron's green.
Yeah.
And a coconut chutney from, I'm not sure where that was, from Trinidad maybe?
How was that?
Pardon me?
How was that?
It was great. It was great. I've been using it. I know I shouldn't be, but I use it for stir fries. It's really good. Where do you get all this stuff? Like, what's the pipeline like? I mean, how do you go about getting a green sauce from Lucia and a chutney from Trinidad?
A really good question. One of our, my biggest apprehensions was, how do you go into a store and you see a whole bunch of stuff, but it never occurred to me that all of that stuff comes from somewhere. Also, when you go into a store, you go for what you want. You don't think about, all of the other things that are in the store. So coming up with a product list was a nightmare. However, I managed to keep meeting the right people. I went for our POS system, like our cash, our tills, and sitting there with this man, he's like, oh, you got to meet Steve. You got to meet Steve. You got to meet Torrance. You got to meet this. And so as I'm meeting all of these different people, I started like this little network of information. Some of them were able to get you product directly from Trinidad. There's also people that would put me in touch with local vendors who make these products, like the hot sauce that you had, the berry one. That's a local vendor. She lives in Oshawa. The pepper shrimp that we have, local vendor, Oshawa. So I like that idea of bringing in local before we go, to the big box people. I like to bring in the local people. So it's a lot of, also, I'm going to say 1/3 of the times that there's communication through the phone or on my Instagram, it's someone saying, hey, do you have this? And I'm thinking, no, I don't have that, but I'm going to look into it and see what we can do. So there's a lot of input from the community as well for what they're looking for.
Bill, I saw your hand up.
Yep. So on that note, I was in the store not so long ago, and I think for the first time ever around here, I found fresh sorrel, which is usually it's dried. So I got 3 pounds of that, which was fantastic. We made, I don't know, 36 cups of sorrel drink. So that's great. But one thing I wanted to ask is, have you ever had any thought to importing pimento wood or sweet wood?
That's a good idea. When I say good idea, I mean the whole import idea. You need an import license. And right now, I'm really so bombarded with trying to make this thing work that I'm a bit uncomfortable to step outside of my box quite yet. But probably next summer, next fall, I will be looking into doing our own importing.
Nice. I do know it's near impossible to get pimento wood here in Canada. I mean, they bring in 1 container a year from Jamaica and it sells out before it even hits the shore. And
I remember you.
Yeah, do you?
I remember you. You asked me for it, and I thought, okay. I did ask the Trinidad supplier. He's the one that gets the things that are like, where do you even find that? But he wasn't sure what I was talking about. But once I'm on it,
yeah, I'll
give
be
me
in there
until
all the
next
time.
summer, next fall.
Perfect.
I'll keep it on my list.
Thank you.
Roshein, can you just, because the hot lunch counter, which is excellent, the food is amazing, but what are the hours? Because I know it's not open on, is it Sunday, Monday?
Sundays and Mondays.
Right.
So we're open Tuesday to Thursday from 11 to 7, the hot foods. And then on Friday and Saturday, we're open from 11 until 10 p.m. We had to change the hours because we kept getting phone calls as we're trying to shut down the store. Hey, can I order? And it's like, we're closed. But enough phone calls were coming in that I thought, okay, we just got to keep it open.
That's great. Yeah. Chris?
So Roshein, when you opened the store, it was to cater to the West Indian community primarily, if I understood correctly, because you couldn't find things that you yourself were using. Do you find now that you're attracting a lot of diverse?
Oh yeah, yeah. I would say that especially in the beginning, which was a huge surprise to us, there were more Caucasian people supporting us than anyone else, which was really surprising to me. But there was just this like overwhelming support from the current Bowmanville community, with that coming in and saying, you're needed here, which was really encouraging to us because we didn't do the promoting yet. So a lot of people didn't know that we were there, except for, I guess, the people that drive through Bowmanville. And like that support was overwhelming. So to answer your question, yeah, the support's been absolutely diverse.
Yeah, Pauline.
Friday.
Hi.
Hi, how are you? Friday, she has this seafood thing. She knows because we're always spending some of those to order it. Amazing. The best seafood. What is it called?
Seafood boil. Seafood Friday, yeah.
Oh my goodness. It is the best seafood thing ever. It's huge. It's
It is, yeah.
And that's what always sits in it. When I get it, he goes, how do they afford to put that together? That's real stuff in there. And it's
yeah.
Lobster, leg, whatever. It's just wonderful. Wonderful. Good job on that.
Thank you.
Very good job.
Did I see somebody raised their hand, but I missed who it was? Oh, Andrew, sorry.
Yes, it's really good to hear about this store. And I also just wanted to thank the previous speaker. I guess I'll get the details in the newsletter that comes after around your locations. I wanted to ask Roshein about the location of your store. I didn't get that in the introduction. And then the other thing I wanted to know is, could you also tell us a bit more about how you marketed your store's products or your store's presence? It would really be good to hear that as well. I'm not surprised that you got the support from the local community across the cultures, because I think when I came to Bowmanville as well, the reception I got beyond my own sort of native ethnic structure was very, very heartwarming, and I never felt as welcome as I have in the different places I've settled in. So I'm really glad that you had the same experience.
Yes, me too.
That.
Okay, so to answer the first question, we're 37 King Street East between Temperance and Division. King Street East, Bowmanville. If you put King Street East, anything else, you may end up Toronto, downtown Toronto. I've had customers do it. End up downtown Toronto. I'm looking around, I don't see you. You're in Toronto. We're in Bowmanville. And then the second thing for marketing, one of our customers said she does, there's a radio station, KX90 or KX94, and she said she'd love to, work with me to give us some airtime. So we signed up for their dining guide and their drive guide. That brought a lot of people in that didn't know that we were there, but a lot of phone calls from there. And then the second thing, when we had our grand opening, we did a flyer distribution. There were 5,000 flyers across Durham, and our grand opening was just phenomenal. I really wasn't expecting the support that we got, but it was phenomenal. Like, the store was packed, right from the beginning till the end, just packed. It was amazing. And then the last thing, which was kind of surprising, but I did a couple of stories on City TV where I was talking about the trials that we've been through. And like, when I did it, honestly, I'm so tired all the time that I wasn't even sure what I said. And I don't know if I offended people. I don't know what I said. I don't remember. But like, I was just going through it, and it's like, okay, whatever is going to come out of my mouth is supposed to come out of my mouth. So let's just start talking. And apparently, there was a lot of people that I guess had a reaction to what I said, and they really have been coming out since that. They've been sharing the story. I'm getting calls from people who are saying they have a cousin in Zimbabwe. They live in Curtis. Cousin in Zimbabwe is calling Curtis to say, hey, you have a West Indian store that's closer to you now, which is like mind blowing. But yeah, it's traveling.
So actually, Pauline and Roshein are neighbors.
Yes.
So they're both on the south side of King Street. If you're at King and Division, one's on the east side of King and Division, one's on the west side of King and Division.
I
So
think we opened a month apart.
you're just pretty close, yeah. Yeah. So where Roshein is used to be Shooters.
That's what I thought. Yeah, because it's a double store.
Yeah, so for the Bowmanville people, yeah, where Shooters was is where the West Indies store is. So, Joe, did you have another
Yeah, I
question?
just wanted, it's more of a comment. Like, it's so great to have you here. I feel like we're kind of growing as a community. I think it's part of our growth, which is fabulous. But, a couple of doors away is Star Apples. And Christy, I'm sure you probably know Christy. You know Christy, Sarah?
Yeah.
Yeah, she was a speaker of ours a couple of years ago. Yeah. Anyway, if things open up in the summer, we should get together and do like a little event, like a West Indies Caribbean event, like Christy and I'll be willing to help you. So anyway, you want to do something? So.
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely.
Yeah. Cool. All right. Well, thank you both. Thank you, Roshein, for joining us.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
And my husband says the jerk pork is some of the best he's ever had.
Yep,
It's
I'll attest to that.
You're more than welcome to stay on, Roshein, if you want. We don't have a whole lot more of our program, just some happy things to talk about. So with that being said, it wasn't on the agenda, but we're gonna do some happy bucks.
Oh, yeah, I forgot.
So
Sorry.
I don't know if anybody has any happy bucks.
I have 100 happy bucks.
Oh,
All of that.
Yeah.
Should have waited till the end.
Well, I haven't done happy bucks for a long time, so that's one of the reasons. But I got my third shot, so that's good. But the most important is that I haven't seen anybody for a couple of weeks, but on the 12th of November, our daughter got married after delaying it for a year. And so we had a wonderful time, and he's a great guy, and they had just a spectacular day. The guest list was much smaller, of course, than we initially had hoped for, but as it turned out, it worked out really well. And she said to me the next day, "My face is still sore from smiling."
Don't you dare put up 100.
Pauline's husband. Actually, it's not happy bucks, it's sad bucks. A good friend of mine passed, and I'm gonna miss him.
Yeah.
We played lots of golf. He was a wonderful guy, but I guess he's in a good place now, so I'm gonna miss him.
I've got a couple of happy bucks. So I know my Hannah update, she actually got an apprenticeship. So she is going to be working for a gentleman in South Oshawa. It's a bit of a sketchy place, but he seems really nice. So she's happy about that. So
As a welder?
as a welder, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
welder.
So when she finishes grade 12, she'll be a level 1 welder through Durham College. So that's pretty exciting. Also, I want to thank everybody who came to the social last Thursday. Thanks to TK, who's not on here anymore, for doing our trivia. We ended up taking up a collection for foundation. So in here, I've got $200 for foundation that we did at our social last week. So I'll get that to Gord.
Well, I have 5 happy bucks, so I'm gonna take some change. My daughter, youngest daughter, is using my Lexus to go to work. So she came over yesterday morning. She says the wipers, the windshield wipers are not working. Actually, it was the spray wash wasn't working at all. At first, she thought it was the tank was empty. So I filled it up and we tried it again, and nothing was coming out. So I said, okay, take the other car and I'll have a look at it. I was thinking, okay, I'm going to have to take it down to Dawn and get it looked at. And then later on, I thought, okay, I'm going to have a look at it myself. The pump was working because I could hear it, but there was no water coming out. After a while, when we tried it, there was water coming out of the hood where the sprays normally would be. And so I took the foamy part that's under the hood off, and I found that the tubes were chewed off, right? 2 tubes coming in, and then they go to the sprays. Both were chewed off by rodents. I'm not sure how that happened, but that was the problem. So I chopped them up and reconnected them. It's working fine now. So that was good.
5 happy bucks. Christmas trees are moving well. They're about the same as last year.
Yeah. Is anybody online with happy bucks? I'm trying to. Oh, SteveBurnett.
I have 5 happy bucks as a thank you for the 3 people that stopped to help me Friday afternoon after my ladder slipped out and I fell about 7 feet. One guy stopped and had some paper towels in his truck, and lady next door stopped and grabbed her phone and called 911, and they were there just to comfort me and help clean up some blood until the ambulance picked me up. X-rays were done. I'm okay, banged up and bruised, but other than that, just my ego needs to be polished.
Well, we're glad it wasn't that more serious. Yeah, Joe.
I've got 5 happy bucks. I know they're not here, but this is just a shout out to my mom that's been living at Glen Hill Strathaven for, I don't know, it's hard to keep track of it a month. And, I never really understood what the life was like inside a long-term care home. And I can't imagine what it was like at the height of COVID. And at Strathaven, they managed, as we know, because we had Michelle, who was the executive director, that they managed to keep COVID out. And I just want to attribute to the workers there who are unbelievable. The PSWs and the nurses work so hard. It's incredible. And their patience with people who, sadly, like my mom, are a little bit confused and trying their patience. And I don't know how they do it, but they are the most giving group of people. So if you ever get a chance, thank them. So, they're really amazing.
Nobody else? Announcements. I know I had you down, Ted, but I guess as long as everybody keeps showing up for their shifts, and if you can't find a replacement, and hopefully we'll be done early again. I was hoping to get away without having to do a shift, but then took Steve's today. So Leanna's not on here. I don't know if Leah or Lisa want to sort of talk about, these guys have been doing it phenomenally. The new members in like a week have pulled together Christmas gifts for all the respite kids. So I don't know if you've seen the pictures of Leanna's place, but it is jam-packed with toys. So I know there's a crew of us that are going to be distributing those. I don't know if Leah, does Leah have, yeah?
Morning. Can you hear me okay? Or
yeah.
So I cannot take credit. Leanna and Lisa have been very hard at work. I did pop over last night and help them put some bags together. They look fantastic. They're at Leanna's house, ready for pickup. So I did send along a delivery list last night for those of you that have volunteered. So if there's any issues with the addresses that I provided, just let me know. I did try to coordinate in terms of locations to make it easier for deliveries, but I think all is coming together. Leanna is hoping for the presents or the bags to be picked up over today and tomorrow, at least, to get them out and then have them delivered by Friday at the latest. There is an advent calendar in the bag, so we are hoping to get the presents out to families as soon as possible. So thank you to everybody for coming together on such short notice.
Excellent. Thank you, guys. Yeah, there's been a lot of work put into that. So, Joe?
Yeah, a quick update on the concert. I'll just do it from here. We have sold. Good news. I guess the good news is this time 3 years ago we sold 17 tickets. We've now sold 61 for the live show, and another, I think it's another 10 online, which is good. But there are 300 tickets to be sold. So if you haven't bought one, please do. 1, 2, 3, 4, or more. And I just want to thank all the people who've been delivering posters around this. We're not just doing it around Bowmanville. They're going in Oshawa, and they're going in Whitby as well. And I know, Andrew, thank you so much. You've been delivering some, Leanna and some other people. So thank you so much. You'll see them start to pop up on stores downtown, including Roshein's and Pauline's. And so thank you for that. I have a couple of interviews this week. I have no idea what I'm going to say. Like Roshein will tell you, when you do one of these, you have no idea what you're saying. So I have one on KX96 that's being taped today, and I'm doing CKDO on Thursday with Chris Coffin. So things are going well. It's going to be a great show, and hope to see you there. And we hope Omicron doesn't destroy it. So yeah.
All right. Good job. Yeah. Are there any other announcements? Anybody? Nope. All right. Keith, you have our quote of the week.
Okay. Hello, everybody. Success is not final. Failure is not fatal. It is the courage to continue that counts. Winston Churchill.
Good, very good. All right. Well, thank everybody. Thank everybody online. Thank you everybody for coming. And if there's nothing else for the good of Rotary, we'll call this meeting adjourned.